Hi, I'm Hugh Laurie, and you're watching Billboard.
Unchain my heart, baby, let me be.
I think it's definitely true that on the first record, I felt as if the first thing I think people need to hear is me. For this reason, I don't want anyone to waste any time thinking that I'm trying to hide behind a bunch of very skilled mercenaries who've been, shipped in with burnt cork on their faces, they're killing machines, and I'm just going to sort of hide behind them. I mean, I do, obviously, I rely on them, more than I can say, but I wanted to be as vulnerable as anybody else to judgment or emotional response or whatever it was people wanted to bring to the record. And I wanted the second record to, first of all, to get more of a female voice, but also to get more of an exchange, a conversation, a feeling of partners dancing with each other, of people swapping solos, conversing with each other musically.
Set me free. You got me under your spell.
The one clever thing I can say that I did was to get to meet Joe Henry. There's a thing about the way Joe records, and there's a feel about his records, his own records and the records he produces for others, which I could not get over. I just kept thinking, no, this is where I need to be. There's something so direct and honest and open about this. There's no trickery, there's no Pro Tools shenanigans. There's people in a room sharing a musical conversation, telling a story. Looking back on it, I realized that it was an enormous gamble on his part. I'm sure he had lots of his friends and colleagues going, what are you doing? He's an actor. He's an actor. Why are you hanging around with those people? But we just hit it off so quickly, and we realized that we shared so many thoughts and feelings about music, and felt like we knew what this record ought to sound like. There's a thing I learned quite some time ago, but it's a lesson that stands to be relearned almost every time I sit down at the piano, that simple is not the same thing as easy. There are piano players, there are musicians who appear to be doing very, very simple things. You get into it and you realize, wow, this may be simple, it is not easy. People often think, well, Hank Williams, he didn't have the greatest voice, nothing he did on the guitar was particularly, he was no shredder, he's just playing, he's got 3 chords and he tells a story, okay, you try and do it. And you realize that actually, nobody has done that. Nobody can do Hank Williams, with all due respect to many, many great country artists who followed. Hank Williams he's a perfect example. It's simple is not easy. One of the real thrills of this for me is that I feel, and it's not just me saying this, I think the band feel this too, that we have grown over the 100 shows that we've done, and I'm still sort of dreaming of where this show could go, because I feel like we're on this trajectory, and I have sort of crazy plans for where we might wind up. But it is such a thrill to feel this whole thing develop and become richer and funnier and sadder and more dramatic and sort of more of everything. It's a real privilege to be a part of.
See, no.